What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your boy Rob. Game clock news, and another topic I want to talk about is the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, this is the Heat and the Celtics' second time playing each other in 3 years. They played each other in the bubble in 2020, and the Miami Heat wound up coming out on top in that outcome back in the bubble. And this right here, you could say is more official because it's not in the bubble. So, you know, it's more normal, like I was supposed to be before the pandemic. And these teams are both good teams. These teams are tough teams. They both play defense at a high level. They play both sides of the ball, and it's become very entertaining to watch. Um, just like as before, the Celtics and Bucks series was very entertaining to watch. That one going 7 games. I still feel like, in my opinion, that the Milwaukee Bucks was a slightly better team than the Celtics. They just didn't have enough offense down the stretch by not having the services of Chris Middleton. Even though Chris Middleton is one of like the most lopsided Batman and Robin, Robin's to Greek Freak's Batman, still his 15 points to 20 points matters when you playing when two tough defensive teams playing. It's all about who has more offense, who has enough scoring, because the defense is about equal. And it's another scenario. It's the same scenario with the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat to me, have slightly more snipers from three with Strus, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, but they haven't been using Duncan Robinson since Strus has been playing. And Tyler Hero was hurt in Game 4, and they got blowed out the gym. So they started off Game 4. They was down like 18-1, and Oladipo was the only guy making shots. Jimmy Butler returned. Jimmy Butler wasn't playing in Game 3. Tatum got hurt, and the Miami Heat wound up getting away with a victory in Game 3 under the leadership of Bam Adebayo with 31 points. But in Game 4, it just seemed like everything went backwards. Jimmy Butler returned. You had Oladipo out there doing this thing, but Jimmy didn't have a good game. Bam didn't get the touches he was supposed to get, in my opinion. I feel like you got to force feed that ball to Bam Adebayo. He's athletic enough, and he has enough talent down low to get some type of buckets to set the tone in the paint. And Spoelstra, he's doing a real good job. He just have to tighten up on rotations, on like who to put out there, who to take out, at certain times. He's doing a phenomenal job with his team, but at the end of the day, this is the Eastern Conference Finals. Everything's on the line, and it's Game 5. Tonight is Game 5. I believe Game 5 is tonight. It's going to be in Miami because Miami does have home court, and it's important for Miami to win Game 5. It's important for Miami to win Game 5, so even if something goes wrong in Game 6 in Boston, you got Game 7 at home. And Miami has won a game in Boston before. And Boston's won a game in Miami before. So it's the same way with the Bucks series. It could go either way. You got two great defensive teams. They're both putting it all on the line. Jason Tatum is a young superstar in the making, as well as Jaylen Brown, but they both have to learn to take better percentage of shots. I understand them cats think that, they the next Kobe / McGrady type of combination and stuff, but people like, Kobe and even T-Mac, especially in his younger years with the Magic and stuff, like, they'll take that ball to the hoop and just dunk it on you. Like, it wasn't doing all that selling for jump shots late down the stretch, especially Kobe. So I understand Tatum, he idolizes Kobe. That's the guy he want to pat his career after, and I see the growth in Tatum's game. I see the growth in his body development. He's looking more physical, more stronger now. He's playing better defense than ever before. It's just his game is about to be damn near perfect. The finishing touches he got to do is just take it to the basket more down the stretch when the team needs him to. Once he does that, then I think Jason Tatum will fully be at superstar status once he does that on a consistent basis. Marcus Smart, he's a soldier. Now, sometimes he throws his body out there like a stunt double and stuff, and he flops from time to time, especially in Boston. But let's see if he gets away with that in Miami if he plays in Game 5, because he was hurt in Game 4 and didn't play at all. And White wound up stepping up off the bench and having a really good game. So that lets you know that the Celtics and the Heat, they both have a good amount of depth for their bench, that a player can be hurt and a starter could be hurt and they could bring their bench in and just move without missing a beat. Same thing with the Miami Heat. Kyle Lowry was hurt for some of these playoffs. It was games where Kyle Lowry was hurt against the Raptors, didn't play. It was games where Kyle Lowry was hurt against the Sixers, didn't play. It was a couple of games that Kyle Lowry was hurt for game 1 and 2, and it was still managed to split. And he came back in game 3, and he made a big difference. So both teams have depth. There's no excuses on either side. They match up perfectly well. I think the Celtics slightly have a little bit more size down low for a big man strength of like offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds and controlling the paint. However, the Miami Heat, they're good at doing things by committee. They'll gang rebound. Their guards come and rebound. The whole team plays like, fearless. So it's like you could be 6'3" for the Miami Heat, but if you just do your job right and play real hard nose basketball, you're a threat to do things a 6'8" guy or 6'9" or 6'10" guy could do. That's a center or power forward, because they help out on rebounds. They all help each other on defense, and they rotate and get back. And P.J. Tucker has become a phenomenal influence on the Miami Heat's defense with staying with defenders and getting over screens and helping back on defense and helping Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo with that like perimeter defense up front to get people off the three-point line. It's just the Boston Celtics, they really believe in their threes. The Boston Celtics really believe that if they just keep shooting threes sometimes, that stuff is going to go in and just going to three you up out of here. But if it don't go in, what's your plan B? And that's what I'm anxious to see with the Boston Celtics. Like, if threes ain't popping, if that stuff ain't falling, then what else do you have to go to? Robert Williams, he's a stud on the Celtics, and Robert Grant Williams, the Williams brothers. Williams times 2. Kind of reminds me of like Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace, but now you got like Grant Williams and Robert Williams. That's cool. They got a good big man tandem down low. And Grant Williams, he can pick and pop from 3. He showed that in Tennessee University. We was in college. That he's very versatile. To say he's a physical big man. And Robert Williams, he's versatile on defense, on how he can switch over to smaller offensive players and keep them in front of him. So it's like both teams play similar styles. It's just all about who's going to be more true to execution down the stretch. Who's going to execute more? Who's going to be more true to execution when everything's on the line? And if Miami Heat want to win this game tonight, I think Jimmy Butler got to set the tone. And he got to take it to the basket, set the tone, get fouled, get some free throws. Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo, get him going. I feel like if Bam have like a good like 25+ night, Jimmy Butler have like a good 23-point night, and Lowry have like a good 20-point. I think if them three set the tone, and with the help of Oladipo, I feel like the Miami Heat can come out on top. Now for the Celtics, I feel like if Jason Tatum does what he's supposed to do, and him and Brown work together, and don't try to outshoot the rest of their teammates, trying to prove they can do it themselves. If they use their teammates and use the pick and pops with Al Horford to get him open so he could get threes in the corners, how he be getting them, and get the other guys involved, and they could come out on top. So it's anybody's game. Game 5 is anybody's game. Series tied 2-2. And that's the most thrilling thing about the playoffs, when it's a 2-2 tie and you got Game 5. That's always thrilling because that's a potential setup of how Game 7 is going to be in a way. But some teams that win Game 5 wind up losing 6 and 7. Or it could go the other way around. So this is really going to be interesting Eastern Conference Finals. While the Golden State Warriors, they just one win away. And I believe the Heat or the Celtics have the potential to beat the Golden State Warriors based on their physicality and their depth and their youth. I feel like the Celtics or the Heat got the right amount of youth and experience, especially the Heat. The Heat have a little bit more veterans than the Celtics. Jimmy Butler was in the finals in the bubble and wound up losing to the Lakers in the bubble. P.J. Tucker just won a championship last year with the Bucks. Kyle Lowry won a championship in 2019 with the Raptors with Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green and Ibaka and those guys and Marc Gasol. So Kyle Lowry had championship experience. Tyler Hero has gotten more seasoning over the past year since his rookie year. He's gotten better. He's sixth man of the year. So, in the Boston Celtics, they have experience as well going deep in the playoffs, but not in the finals. And this might be the Boston Celtics year because they've been knocking on the door for some time to get to the finals with this core with Brown and Tatum. Since they got these guys. And since they been switching point guards from Isaiah Thomas to Kyrie Irving to Kemba Walker, and now they finally just had the bright idea to be like, you know what? Screw it. Why get all these small point guards that's injury prone where we could just move Marcus Smart to the point because he plays good enough defense as it is, and he's big enough to stay with bigger guards. So that kind of makes sense, and that's been Udoka has got these guys playing real good defense. He got these guys buying in. It was just January where everybody was worried about, can the Celtics get it together, and they look like they was falling off the map, man. It just took them around some months, and the next thing you know, they just changed their philosophy around, changed their mindset. They bought into what the coach was saying, and they wound up being the second seed in the East to Miami. Overall, I think this is a real good series. It's really great to watch. Two tough teams battling out, bringing back a little bit of that 90s feel. That 90s basketball, that Knicks and Bulls, that Knicks and Pacers, Bulls, Pistons, a little bit of that. It ain't all the way to that extent, but it gives you a taste of that based on the competitiveness that these two teams have for each other. And let's see who wins it. Let's see who comes out on top. Like, share, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. It's your boy Ra. Peace.